Hello, everyone. It's saying that I'm live. I guess I'll chat since it's saying I'm live. I don't do live videos very often, but I figured I would do one now because I was going to record a quick video anyway. And instead of just recording it and then uploading it, I'm not going to edit it. I just wanted to say a few things, and I just decided to do the live video. Feel free to comment or share if you happen to be on. It is 10 o'clock right now in Beijing, and it's the Lantern Festival today, which, as far as I know, marks the last day of the Spring Festival. And as I was walking back to my apartment, I saw a lot of fireworks. A lot of people are already setting off a lot of fireworks. It's kind of calm outside right now, but between 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m., there were a lot of fireworks going off. And as I was walking back from uh, the shopping mall where I had a late dinner, I took some video and I'll upload that later. Obviously, I'm not gonna upload with this video because this is a live video. But I will, whenever I have a chance. I'm not sure I'll get it edited and put up tonight. Excuse me. I drank too many liquids. It's messing with me. Maybe I need some hot water. But anyway, I'll finish that video and get it up because I actually got some really cool shots of the fireworks. I was able to get right by them because they're literally right out here on the street corner. I don't have a good view from here. If you look out my window, I can see part of the building across the street, but it's a really crappy view. So, there's nothing to really show you. But the purpose of this video is just to um, raise the question because, you know, the fireworks issue in China, it's one of the first things I noticed, one of the differences between America and China. And of course, there are a lot of differences, and there are always similarities between cultures. But one of the things I noticed in America that really stands out on days like today is the difference in the fireworks. And if you watched my other video, which I should link later in the description below, I bought a long pack of firecrackers, just the small firecrackers that you just, you can. Whenever I was growing up, we would take them apart one at a time, just take them out of the strand so we could light them one at a time and put them like, in the ground or, put them where the ants are and watch it kind of blow up the ants or whatever. And sometimes you light the whole strand, but my brother and I didn't really like to do that so much because they would just be gone so fast, and we didn't have much money. My family normally didn't spend much on these types of things because we're rather poor. Maybe they would disagree with that, but buying a lot of fireworks and blasting them off and having the big fireworks display and all that. My family would never do that sort of thing because we never had the money for it. But the black cats that we use in the U.S. I'm sure they're made in China, but they're very small. They're not very powerful, and they don't do much. And if you light the whole strand, yeah, they'll go off, really fast all at the same time. But it's a very short strand, less than like a foot long, I think. And I've never seen a really long strand of firecrackers in the U.S. But here, I've never seen anything that small, to be honest. Usually the strands that I see here are at least a few feet long. And if you watch the video that I'm going to post later with the guys out on the street, you can kind of hear some of the fireworks going off right now. Actually, firecrackers, as I'm talking about the firecrackers. But the strands that they were lighting were not nearly as long as the ones that I bought and set off in Fujian for New Year's. And if you watch my video, it's a very short video. It's just my girlfriend and her good friend and some friends of ours setting off some firecrackers. Just one really long strand. You can watch that video. You can see where we roll it out. He rolls it out, and then he gives me a cigarette so I can light it. But anyway, it's pretty cool. But the main thing that I was wondering is, since the laws are so much looser on fireworks in China than they are in the U.S., it means that a lot of the stuff you can buy and where you can use it is much more open and diverse and big, and the display is very important. And so if you go outside, you'll see fireworks that people can just buy at the local fireworks shop, and the power that they have and the display that they have. This this is not something that I've ever seen just in the U.S. apart from an official license approved fireworks show. And I'm not saying that the people out on the street that are buying the fireworks boxes have fireworks that are just as powerful as a professional fireworks show in a U.S. city. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that there's absolutely no way for a regular citizen in the U.S. to just walk into a store and buy fireworks like the ones they have here on the street. And that's a fact. But I've been in China now for almost 6 years total, and during that time, uh, I I noticed that there's been a change. I have noticed that there's been a change in a lot of the laws, and that's what I was thinking about today, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it. Now, if you're from China, or you're familiar with China, or if you've been here, I'd like to know what your thoughts are about this, because here's my question. I told my girlfriend is Chinese, and she asked me if I was unhappy tonight about the fireworks. She's not here, she's still in Fujian with her family, but I had to get back to the office, so I came here. But she asked me if I was unhappy because of the fireworks tonight, but actually I feel kind of sad, and here's the reason why. When I was in Fujian, I didn't go outside at midnight. I was already in bed asleep. I was just really tired from traveling and stuff, and I didn't think about going outside and seeing the fireworks. But I figured I would have another chance. I mean, Fujian, that's in her hometown area, so I can go there for Spring Festival anytime, New Year's, and see those fireworks. No big deal. I'll have another chance. But here's the thing. In Beijing right now, I still see some people outside launching these fireworks, and it reminds me of a couple of years ago when there was an incident in Shanghai. And I don't know all the details of the incident. I'm not sure anybody actually really does, but something happened, and there was kind of basically a rush of people, like a stampede, and some people got injured, maybe some people got killed. Like I said, don't grill me because I don't know the details of exactly what happened. But I do know that that was a typical kind of government crackdown switch, you could say. You know, it's just like being in the U.S. because what you'll see is something happens and some people get hurt or injured or some bad things happen. Just accident, some kind of freak accident that's never happened before, and then the knee-jerk response by the government is to just jump in and crack down. And as a result of the crackdown in Shanghai, now they're either blocking or strictly limiting what can be done with things like fireworks in Shanghai and some other cities. Today I was under the impression that I have seen a few fireworks here and there since I've been back in Beijing over the past several days, but as far as today, the fireworks that I saw today, I was a little surprised and to see that actually. I wasn't expecting to see a bunch of people standing at the intersection, literally putting big boxes of fireworks right out in the street, right as cars are driving by. There's buses. When you watch the video, you'll see. I show you I already made the video where I show you there's a bus right by where the fireworks are going off. There's cars driving around it. They literally put them right out in the street, so they won't be too close to the buildings, but I'm sure that something like this would get a lot of people arrested in the U.S. I can't imagine what would happen if I took these types of fireworks boxes and put them out in the intersection like that in my hometown. I guarantee you that there would be like SWAT teams and all sorts of people showing up, all sorts of policemen with tasers and guns and body armor and all sorts of crap showing up and dragging people off and to the jail, and it would be a completely messed up scene. I'm sure there'd be news crews everywhere, and it will be nonsense. But Outside here, I only saw one policeman, and he was in a little bitty tiny electric car, and he was just sitting there taking notes. I did get a short video of him when I was walking around, and he was just taking notes, and it got me to thinking, what is he taking notes about? Because he didn't actually get out of his electric car and walk over and stop them or tell them, you can't do that, or who are you, or show me your ID, or hand out any fines or anything. He wasn't actually talking to anybody, but I watched him move down the street. He stayed there for a little while with his head down, taking notes, and then after a little while, he drove down the street close to where some other people were shooting some fireworks, and I just assumed he was taking more notes down there. That's my guess because I couldn't see him from that far away. But it makes me wonder, or it made me wonder, what exactly is he doing? I mean, is he taking notes so that they know where people are going to um, blast fireworks again next year, and so they can crack down on that or make it illegal or issue fines or something? I don't know. And call me cynical, but I really feel like I'm kind of lucky. Actually, I really do believe I'm lucky. And this is what I told my girlfriend. She asked me if I was unhappy about the fireworks tonight because I was planning on getting up early in the morning to go get my physical. And when I realized they're going to be blasting fireworks at at least a little past midnight, I felt like, man, I'm not going to get much sleep tonight, or at least I'm not going to be able to get to sleep early like I wanted to. And that's one of the reasons why I made this video, is because this is on my mind and I wanted to get it off my chest. And this is the point. I told her that I was happy actually because I feel like tonight is one of those opportunities I have to see something that's maybe maybe a phenomenon that's I don't want to say dying out, but that's the first phrase that comes to mind. And I know probably a lot of people here in China would say that's nonsense. I mean, how could fireworks die out? They're used for so many things. They're used for festivals and holidays and weddings and some other things. And it's such a deep part of the culture. And for those of you who don't know, gunpowder that we used for guns, this was being used in China before that for fireworks. And it's a very deep part of the culture. And when I think about how in this capital city, I'm sure they've already got some strict laws about what people can and can't do as it relates to fireworks. Because I'm kind of surprised, like I said, to even see these fireworks in Beijing. But it makes me wonder, where do they buy them to get them here? I guess are they actually for sale? These big fireworks are for sale within the city. If not, that means they have to get them from like right outside the city and bring them in. But of course, where I'm at right now, I'm not in the main part of the city. There aren't any big high rises out here, but it's still in the city. And the thought occurred to me: when is the day going to come where they start really cracking down here and telling people, hey, you can't do this. And they start really getting serious about blocking the fireworks here, maybe even more seriously than before. And then maybe in other places like they did in Shanghai, they start making it really strict. Is it going to take a small tragedy or disaster or even a small incident before they just really crack down? And it becomes more and more every day, like the U.S. already is, because everyone always says it's the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, I don't know so much about that. I think these are just slogans, and I know a lot of people. Maybe some of you get angry with me, but that's true. By the way, I am American. That's where I'm from. So I'm not speaking about the U.S. because I'm just hating on it. I'm not some guy from somewhere else. You can probably tell by my accent that I'm American. But the thing that gets me is that even when I was a kid, the level of fireworks and the access that we had to those and the things we could do were much more restrictive than what exists in China today, right now. But in the past 5.5 to 6 years or so since I've been here, I've noticed those freedoms kind of slowly being chipped away. And for those of you who've never been to China and have kind of an outsider's view of it, you might think, oh, China, freedom? Oh, they don't have that much freedom anyway. Well, you would say that because you don't have any real good knowledge of China. Because there freedom of speech issues. Well, the I know that the local leaders like to call it managed. You know, the internet is managed, not censored. It's managed. It's just semantics. But the truth is that when it comes to the the way things are done here, as far as freedom is concerned, freedom isn't straight across the board something that they have in the U.S. or in China. It's just some things, some aspects of life are freer than others. For example, yeah, in the U.S. I could make a video if I wanted to. Now I'm not political. I hate politics, but if I were to make a video about the current president, whoever the president is right now, and just really talk about how ridiculous he or she is, or whatever. If I just went on and on and on and on about how ridiculous they are, normally, under normal circumstances, as long as I'm not saying anything threatening, then that would be okay. It's freedom of speech, right? If I start to get really hateful, or if I say some really ridiculous things, or start to threaten, or whatever, then it becomes a little more serious. Maybe I'll get contacted by law enforcement or something. And if I say hateful things, then I'll definitely get attacked in the comments section, and maybe people will try to find me, or my channel will be taken down or something. But in general, I'm allowed to criticize the government. And, well, at least right now, who knows the future of the U.S., maybe they really start cracking down. So I'm pretty sure they've already cracked down on a lot of people. But uh, in China, openly speaking out against the government and saying bad things about them, that's not okay. And so this is the main thing that Americans will point to when they say, see, there's no freedom there, blah, 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 freedom, no freedom of speech. Okay, yeah, there's limits on what you can say publicly. Now, privately, you can say whatever you want, and there are a lot of people here who do. So if you have the impression that, Chinese people are just a bunch of docile sheep who follow along and do what they're told, that's not true. There are people like that in every country, and there's a heck of a lot of them in the U.S., and that's a fact. But the big difference when it comes to freedom between China and America is in everyday kind of personal freedom thing. So, where you want to go, what time you want to go there, where you want to drink, how much you want to drink, how it affects others. These things, there's a lot more freedom in China than there is in the U.S. I mean, I've seen so many people just pass out. They're walking on the street, drinking beer on the street, sitting outside drinking a beer, no problem. That's everywhere, every city in China, no problem. In the U.S., well, that's going to get you a fine, or it gets you arrested, get you in a lot of trouble for public intoxication. In the U.S., the police will tell you to move along. If you're just tired, you want to lie down at the park and take a nap on the bench. They're not going to let you do that. They're going to make you get up and leave. And if you give them any grief, maybe they'll taser you. This is ridiculous. But most every policeman here, they don't even carry anything they can hurt you with. I rarely see even a stick on the policeman. Most of the policemen, they just don't want to be bothered. And I know that sounds, maybe you think that sounds bad, but what I mean is they're not like the U.S. policemen, who in general appear to me to be out looking for trouble or trying to find a reason to pull you over. You've heard about them having quotas and things like that, and I mean, this is a complete assault on our everyday, normal, average personal freedom. And this kind of, I want to say oppression, because it basically is, just doesn't exist in China. There are certain areas where there's more security, and it doesn't feel the same though as it does in the U.S. Because in China, if in general, if you're not trying to cause any problems, and you're obviously not trying to stir something up, and you're not here to stir the pot, or to try to present it in a bad light or something like that, then you're just going to be left alone. But when you start doing something that's a little out of the ordinary, they don't understand what you're doing or why you're there, or if you are causing a ruckus, you might not even be doing anything bad. You could be doing something that's causing a crowd, and they just can't allow that in China. And several years ago, I would have said that's nonsense, you know. Like when I heard about the guy, I think it was just one guy or a couple of guys doing the free hugs thing, where they go out and they just stand in public with free hugs signs and shirts, and they just give free hugs to people. And you know, a lot of people in China, when they see something like this, it's very interesting, very unique, and so they want to take videos. So a crowd of people starts to form and gather around these people, and they're taking pictures and video because they think it's neat. But then the police show up because they see a crowd of people. They don't know what's going on, and they're very scared of allowing these things to happen, and so they quickly jump on that and tell people to disperse and leave. And on one hand, it kind of sucks because you know you think, well, that's a freedom issue. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not causing any issues. Leave them be. But if they let it get out of hand, then it's possible you could have a situation like, you know, similar to what happened in Shanghai. There are just too many people, there's too many things going on, and it can get out of control. People can die, things can get hurt. If that happens, then the top of the government, they're very serious about cracking down and punishing people, very serious about that, and they always go after the leader. So if the local leader sees something like that going on, you can rest assured that he's going to send the police over there or some kind of SWAT team and break it up and get everybody out of there and make sure that there's nothing going on, everything is okay. Because if it doesn't get under control and something bad happens, then he's going to take the blame for it. So they don't allow that. You know, there's a saying here in China: "People mountain, people sea." That's SEA, as in the, you know, the sea, the ocean, or whatever. And if you don't know what that means, it essentially means people everywhere. I wish I could show you right now the picture that I have of Spring Festival from, I think it was 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. I went to Shanghai and visited Yu Garden, and there were just a sea of people behind me, and I took a picture. It's a really funny picture because it literally looks like I'm swimming in local people and swimming in a Chinese ocean, Chinese sea. But you know, because there are so many people packed together in one place like that, and you don't know what's going on when things get out of control, it's very easy for bad things to happen, and the police know that, and so they're posted everywhere to just observe and make sure nothing like this happens and that sort of thing. So there you go. It's just different. In the U.S., there are not as many people, so I guess that's one of the reasons why the police are like out looking for you and trying to give you trouble, and whatever. And I mean, I'm not trying to make this video to demonize. I'm just saying that a lot of this stuff makes me think about a lot of this stuff because of the fireworks today. The I feel happy to be able to be here in China at this time, to be able to see these things. Who knows what this will be like 10 years from now? You know, maybe there won't be a single fireworks show in Beijing 10 years later. Maybe it will only be ran by the government. Maybe they'll have an official fireworks show, and that's it. You can watch it live or you can watch it on TV, and that'll be it. Maybe they'll just make it illegal to buy and sell fireworks and use fireworks within the city, and that part, that special thing, will be gone from history, at least for now. And so I'm glad to be here right now. I didn't even think I would be in Beijing. I thought that I would be somewhere else. Actually, uh, nothing has uh, this over the course of the past couple of months. Nothing has transpired exactly the way I thought it would. Actually, it's very different than what I thought things would be. But here I am, and as soon as a couple of things get more straightened out, I'll share as much as I can. But anyway, that's really all I had to say. If you're watching and you're Chinese, you're from China, I just want to say that the fireworks that I've seen, the quality of the fireworks, the fun that people have doing it, even though it's questionable sometimes the location they put the fireworks. That's kind of part of the wonder of it, and that's why a lot of foreigners like it. They because it's kind of edgy. It's some it's often a little unsafe, and people don't take the proper precautions that they should. But once again, that's part of the novelty of it, and we love it. While it's here, we love it, and I hope it's around for a while longer. But while it's still here, I'll enjoy it, and I appreciate all of my friends who are all of my Chinese friends who have given me a great time here. And I'll say this is the end of the Spring Festival holiday. Today's the last day, so 新年快乐 and happy Lantern Festival as well. And that's it for now. If you guys have any comments or questions, I'll say I'll gladly answer them for you. But anyway, I think maybe I need to shave. This comes out pretty quick. My girlfriend's not around, so you can see that I get a little lazy. Anyway, thank you so much, and 再见. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Oops. Where do I stop this thing? Maybe I gotta turn it sideways. Let's see. It says rotate. Oh, here we go. No, not that one. This one maybe. Yeah. Okay.